Well, I just want to welcome everyone to our oils and cooking class, and I'm just super excited for everyone to be here. I've seen some of the recipes; they look very yummy. So, stay tuned. And we have Megan that will be presenting today. And actually, as you can see, she has her Young Living. It's hard to see, but she has her Young Living apron on. And I'll let her take it away, and she can give you all the details and go over all the recipes. And thanks so much, Megan, for doing this and opening up your kitchen to us and all these awesome recipes that are oil infused. Thanks.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. The dogs are sleeping today, so there won't be mid-barking today. Thank goodness. So today we are going to make lavender lemon bars, and we're also going to do a chocolate mint smoothie. So one is healthier than the other. I'm just going to preface that up front. But I'm going to teach you about using oils throughout the sort of class. And then if you have questions, just put them in the chat and we can answer questions at the end if I haven't covered it all, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start with making the crust for the lemon bars, because then I can toss that in the oven and we can move on to the next stages. So the first piece that we need to do, and I'm gonna tilt the screen, the camera, as we go so that you can see what I'm doing. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make lavender sugar. There we go. So I make my lavender sugar in a food processor. Today I am using organic cane sugar, and you can use whatever type of sugar that you're used to in your cooking. So if you're using stevia or monk sugar or coconut sugar or any of those types of sugars, you can make substitutions. You'll just need to watch how much you use of each, because they will have different sweetness ratios. So in this food processor today, I have 3 1/4 cups of sugar. And if you want, you can actually make extra of this. So if you like to use a little bit of sweetness in a cup of tea, lavender sugar is amazing for that. So you can just have like a little bowl full of it on the side, or you can use it to make some lavender scones or something else later. So you can do that. So I'm using the Lavender Plus oil. And I'm going to start by just putting probably 3 drops. And depending on the aroma of how it goes, then we'll add more and see how that goes. So it's gonna get noisy for a second. Oh, forgot to put that piece in first. Okay, that was more like 4 drops, but you know, whatever. So now I just smell. So if it smells like it's got a substantial amount of lavender aroma, then that's great. You actually don't have too mild of a scent, because then it won't actually come through in your baking. You're going to add this to other ingredients. So now that the sugar is made, so I don't cut myself, because you know that would be great television, but I don't think that would be great for me. So we're just going to move over here. So now we're going to make the crust. So I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees, and I have lined a 9x13 pan, and I use parchment paper, and then I spray really gently with a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. And in a bowl, we are going to do 1 stick of unsalted butter that's been cooled slightly. I use organic unsalted butter. You guys do you with your fats. I would stay away from margarine. Margarine is 1 molecule away from plastic. Putting it out there. So we've got butter. Then we're going to add some lavender sugar. And the lavender sugar we need for the crust is 1/2 cup. trusty little scoop. That wasn't quite half. I don't measure that well either, so just putting that out there. So we've added the sugar, and we're going to add vanilla. I love vanilla. So the vanilla is 2 teaspoons, and we are putting the recipes up, so don't worry, you don't need to write anything down. So again, I love vanilla, so I don't really worry if I add a little bit too much. And then we're going to add a little bit of sea salt. And then we're going to stir this around just to melt the sugar in the bowl. So I'll show you what this looks like. Looks kind of... The other thing too, you guys, I don't know if you guys know, but you can actually pin my square to make it larger so that if you want to see me bigger, you can pin that on your screen to see that. So it just kind of looks kind of a little stoopy. Okay. And now we're going to add 2 cups of flour. So you can use whatever types of flour that you want to use. So in my kitchen, I use usually a blend of all-purpose flour with gluten-free flours. All-purpose flour will give you a more structured texture, so more of that shortbread sort of texture. If you're using einkorn flour or any of the what's it called, chickpea flour, that kind of stuff, you will need to adjust how much wetness you put in, or you're going to put in less flour in order to get that same texture. Young Living has, and it's hard to see the writing on this, but this is the pancake mix. And the pancake mix is actually just a mix of different flours. So it has chickpea flour, it has einkorn flour, whole grain, rice flour, amaranth, tapioca, what's the other one? Sorghum. So I use a mix of that and my all-purpose. So we're gonna add 2 cups total of flours to that mix. And then we're just gonna mix it up. And it's gonna turn out to be slightly like a crumbly batter. So it's not loose or anything like that. I'll show you what that looks like. So that's what it turns out like. Okay, so now you're gonna take this and you're gonna press it into your tin. You just kind of dump it in. Make sure you get everything out. And then I use my hands and I will press. First, I kind of scatter it about the tin to make it as even as I can before pressing it in, so that you don't have really high spots or low spots in your crust. Because if you have high spots or low spots, you're gonna have chunks that are, you know, a little burnt or uncooked spots. So this is what I do before I actually press it in, okay? Now to press it in, I actually use my measuring cup. And I just gently press it into the bottom of the tin. My gosh, you can smell the lavender, it smells so good. And if need be, just put a little bit of flour on the bottom to keep it from sticking. And then once you've got it fairly pressed, you can go back in with your hands and just get all the edges nice and even. The great thing about this is it does not need to be an exact science when it comes to putting everything in the tin. There we go. So that's the pressed into the tin. So now this goes into the oven, again, 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until it's brown. So I'm gonna set my timer for 20 minutes so that I can check it ahead of time. So just in case, because you never know, sometimes your oven's a little warmer, and it is warm in the kitchen today, so that could be. It is warm in here. Next, we're going to make the filling. So first and foremost, this takes lemons. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your lemons. If you store them in your fridge, you're gonna take them out at least an hour before you're gonna make this dish. I have soaked my lemons in a big bowl of water with our Thieves Veggie Wash. So first you clean your lemons, then you're going to rinse them off, and then you're gonna dry them with a paper towel or a cloth because you need them to be dry in order to zest them. So far, I have zested and juiced 5 lemons. There's my aftermath. And the recipe actually calls for only the zest of 2 lemons, but I figure if I'm juicing them, I'm zesting them all. I don't just add it in. It's great flavor. So I also use a little strainer over my measuring cup to catch all the seeds so that you don't have to figure out how to get all the seeds out. So I have 1 last lemon to zest. I use a microplane to zest my lemons. And when I use citrus anyway, so I just do it this way. And then you can see all the zest that comes through. When I use citrus, I use all parts of the citrus. Even if the recipe doesn't call for it, I will use the zest, I will use the juice, and I will then use the appropriate Young Living essential oil, Vitality or Plus line that goes along with it, because every part of the fruit will give you great nutritional values. Hold on 1 second. So then we're just going to juice this last lemon. And the zest also has a lot of the essential oil in it as well. So it's great just to get the extra. And just in case there's anybody on here that is not a sprucer, I only talk about the use of Young Living oils for cooking. I don't use any other brands. The only one I trust to actually put into my body in that way. And you just sort of smush around the pulp and the seeds to make sure you get all the juice out. And the other great thing you can do with the leftover squeezed lemons is great. Get a great big pitcher of ice water and throw them in, and then you have lemon water for the day. I'm just gonna throw this over here. Okay, so for the crust, we need filling. We did the crust. Thank you, my trusty assistant, Dan. We need 8 eggs. One thing you should also do is take your eggs out probably 45 minutes to an hour before you bake. They perform better when they're at room temperature. Some science thing, not sciencey, I just go with it. So we're just gonna crack these all in. I'm using free-range eggs. I wanted to get organic eggs at the grocery store. They didn't have them. So we're going free. These days, you just take what you can get. So, 8 eggs in. So we need to do eggs, lemon juice, some more of the lavender sugar. Lemon juice. And I'm actually going to add some extra lemon vitality oil. Maybe 10 drops. And lavender sugar, we need 2 3/4 cups, which essentially should be the remainder of your sugar. But we'll measure it just to make sure. Again, my measuring skills. Add up. And then we're going to add all the delicious lemon zest. One thing that I will find, you will find with the lemon zest is once you put it in when you're using a whisk, it will stick a bit to your whisk things. Just tap it on the side till the zest falls off. But that's how much zest I'm putting in.
Megan?
Yeah?
You know it's not fair when you watching you do this?
What?
Like I'm drooling and we can't even taste it.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
You should have sent out samples.
Doing samples ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then we're going to add a little bit of flour. So 1/2 cup of flour over top of that mixture. And that's just used as a little bit of a thickener to make your batter. And now I can smell the crust in the oven. I can smell the lavender baking, which is, sorry, Monia, it smells delicious. So this is what your filling is gonna look like before you pour it. So what you're gonna do is you're going to, when the crust comes out of the oven, which should be in about 10 minutes, you're gonna pour this batter on top of the hot crust. And then you're gonna put it back into the oven for another 25 to 30 minutes. And then to torture you even more, you have to wait for it to cool. And then in order to get nice clean cuts, you're going to then put it into the fridge and let it set. So it's not immediate eating, unfortunately. That one.
So Megan, Marianne had a question. I assume,
Sure.
she says, ever thought of putting lavender flowers in the crust? And I assume she means with the oil, like.
With the buds, yeah, you can definitely. If you can find a good source of edible flower buds, or if you've got some in your garden that you trust the source of where they've come from, then definitely you can use some lavender flower, and you just take the little buds and you'll put it into the food processor when you're doing the sugar portion. I wouldn't put it in directly into the crust. I would put it through the processor so it breaks it up a little bit, because getting one big chunk of lavender flower, you might go, ooh, and it might ruin that experience for you. So that's just my 2 cents on that part.
Great tip.
What else? Oh, I was going to talk to you a little bit about, before we go on to the next recipe, about citrus oils. So Young Living has quite a few different citrus oils. So they've got lemon. I'm trying to see what I've got on my counter here. They've got lemon, they've got tangerine, orange, I think there's a jade lemon, a grapefruit, and lime. Oh God, I can't lime. And they all are great products because you can pair them with their counterparts, so with their actual fruit in the recipes you're making. You can also use them to flavor enhance things like frosting, or I'm trying to think, put it in your water. All of the citrus oils have limonene in them. Google it. It's a great thing for you to have in your diet every day. And you can also add them to smoothies. We actually add them to cocktails. And they're just amazing, amazing products. So just have fun with it. I find that the citrus oils, out of all of the oils from the Vitality or Plus line, are probably the most forgiving when you cook with them. So if you add a little too much, not going to ruin it for the most part. They're not so overpowering that it's going to bother you. When you get into oils such as clove, cinnamon, ginger, black pepper, oregano, thyme, basil, those ones, if you put too much, no bueno. So one tip that I do, I'm just going to show you. So what you do is you take, say like black pepper oil, and you're going to put, I don't know if you can see this. So what I would do is I've actually put I don't know if I can see. I put a couple of drops on this plate, which you can't really see. But then I take a skewer, and then I rub the skewer in the oils, and then I will mix that in my dish. And some people say use a toothpick. I like this skewer because if I have like a big pot of sauce or soup or whatever, you're not gonna burn yourself. So you can take this whole thing and just keep mixing. And if you taste it and you're like, oh, I could add more, add a little bit more and circle it in. If you can add your oils towards the end of the cooking process, we're doing today, we're actually baking with it, so we're adding it at the beginning, but most of the time you're gonna add it at the end. So, next recipe is the chocolate mint smoothie. I'm very excited. This one is the healthy one.
Meg, every time you say what it is, you cut out. So chocolate what?
Chocolate mint smoothie.
Ah.
So 1 banana. And you can use frozen bananas. So if you chopped up your bananas because they were getting a little ripe and they're frozen, you can use the frozen banana too. Fine. You're gonna do a cup of milk of choice. Today I'm using organic almond milk, just plain. Maybe not. That looks very suspect. We won't be using that.
Live TV, you know.
Okay, switch it up. We're gonna use some cow milk. That was in the fridge. Normally I use almond milk. I don't know what happened with that almond milk. It was gross. So we're gonna do a cup of milk. Your choice. Almond milk, rice milk, oat milk, cow milk, whatever. Mine's actually lactose-free cow milk. Thank you. And then we're gonna add cocoa powder. And this is Dutch processed cocoa powder, so there's no sugar in here. So, big scoop. Sweetener, I'm going to use agave. Again, you use your sweetener of choice. You can use agave syrup, you can use maple syrup, you can use honey, you can use brown rice syrup, you can use sugar of some sort, monk sugar, whatever you want to use. Then we're going to use Peppermint Vitality. So peppermint, I would say peppermint, lemongrass, lavender, those oils, when you use them, spearmint, you need to use them sparingly in recipes because they are a little bit more on the potent side as far as flavorings, and they can ruin a dish if you use too much, but they're not as worrisome as the oregano, thyme, basil. They're not, I don't find them quite that over the top. So we're gonna add 1 drop, oh, 2 drops of peppermint. Now, you can also swap this out for if you don't have peppermint with spearmint. Spearmint is a little bit on the lighter side. I find spearmint, it's almost like it has a little bit more of a sweeter hit to it, but you can swap that out. The other oil I'm going to add is a little bit of the sweet essence, a couple drops of that. And I'm also going to add 1 drop of longevity. The other thing you can add to your smoothie, you can, if you are having some stomach upset, you can add some digize to it. You can add your Ninja Red to this recipe. You can add fruit to the recipe. And then Monia is going to talk to you about some of the other Young Living protein shake items that you can also add to your smoothie. I'm just going to add a cup of ice to this mix, and then I'll be right back, and then Monia can talk to you about protein shakes.
You gonna mute yourself, Megan, too?
You don't want to use my blender?
Okay, guys, so I'm just gonna come on. She wanted me to talk about the protein shakes that we have that you could add to your shake. So next week, June 2nd, Brooke and I, it's gonna be Brooke actually that's gonna do the presentation on what you can use. So Liz did the workout part, and we're just gonna do the part that what to add to your workout, like what supplements to use and all that. So we'll just go a little bit more in detail of our supplements, our protein shakes. So today I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to show it to you and tell you just a tad about it, and then tune in next week, and then that's when we'll go a little bit more in detail. Okay, so I order the Balance Complete. It's NFR. So the Balance Complete, I'm just going to read it here. It's the perfect meal replacement shake that will keep you going until your next meal. Okay, so this is this one here. Then we have the Pure Protein. So this one comes in the vanilla chai or the chocolate. So this is the one Christine likes. My husband likes this one as well. And I buy the chocolate because I make, oh my God, like Pure Protein little balls, and I put coconut in it. So one day I'll make that and I will post it also on the Blue Spruce Cup. It's so good. So the Pure, this one here, let me see here. I did a little thing. I think this is the one that actually keeps you, correct me if I'm wrong, Christina, but I think this one keeps you full longer, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Because it has the 25 grams of protein.
And it has 5 different proteins in it too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then this is the one I like. So it comes in little pouches, and for me, oh my God, the taste of this is like so yummy. I could have like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a day. Like it's so good, you know. So I use this one, and it's in the Diet Sleek line. I think a couple of weeks ago, Megan did a thing on this. So for me, this is my favorite, and you can add any of your oils to it. You can add fruits to it, but it has it does have a fruity. So people that like the fruity taste, this has more of the fruity taste. So it's just to help maintain a balanced diet, this one. So this is my favorite. And if I showed you the box that just came in, I had 5 of these in there. So how much I like it. You know, so anyway, so this is the protein shakes we have. And then tune in next Tuesday. Back to Megan.
Okay, so we made this smoothie. So it made this much. So you and a friend, or just a really big one, whichever. It's very pepperminty. Maybe 1 drop. Try to stick to it. Otherwise, just go for it. Dan just made a face. So we have about 4 minutes before the crust is ready. I just checked it. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some other Young Living products that you can use. So this is one, I actually like this one. Einkorn cereal, which is great. I know most of us don't actually use this as cereal. We actually use it as our snacks. We put it in a little baggie and we use it as snacks. We're weird. So that's great. You can also use that if you crumble it up a little bit, put it with a little bit of butter. You can actually use that as a crust on top of a crumble. You can use it on top of fish. If you want to make like a baked salmon with a crust on it, you can do that. Add a little bit of lemon vitality if you're going to add it to fish, which is great. The other item that I fell in love with was Monia made a salad. And then I just went, okay, Einkorn berries. So if you've ever cooked with wheat berries, it's very similar. So let me get some out for you. Show you what it's like. Get them dry. This is what they look like. So when I cook with it, I usually in the morning, what I'll do is I'll take a cup of them and I will put them in a bowl of water and I will let them sit there and soak till I'm ready to cook that evening. I love to make Einkorn berry risotto. Probably my favorite thing to make with it. So if you've made traditional rice risotto, you can actually make Einkorn berry risotto in the same fashion. So you just add toast the berries with a little bit of olive oil. You can add onions, garlic, whatever your aromatics you want at the bottom. Then you're going to slowly add your what's it called? Now, stock, chicken stock, vegetable stock, whatever stock you're going to use. You slowly add it till it evaporates, add some more until they're cooked. Then you're going to add Parmesan cheese. You're going to add Peppermint Vitality. Sorry, not peppermint, Pepper Vitality. And some cracked black pepper and a little bit of sea salt. Delish. You can add sauteed mushrooms to it. You can add a little bit of thyme or rosemary. Go with it. Let me check the crust. I've heard it. I think we're good.
You're going to post that recipe too, Meg?
Sure. Do you want me to I'll make some tomorrow and I'll post the recipe. How's that sound?
Great.
Literally, also what you guys can do with this too is, you know, when you cook quinoa and all of that, you can, instead of using quinoa, use this instead.
Yeah.
It is so, so good.
Okay, guys, this is what the crust looks like when it's baked. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pour that filling mixture. Give it another good stir all over the top of the batter. Ooh, I love it. Make sure you get all the zest out of the bottom of the bowl. This is the crust. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to throw it back into the oven for another half an hour. And that's it.
So Megan, there was a question here. It says, doesn't matter if the crust is hot. And I think you said should do it when it's hot, right?
Yes, so the crust needs to be warm when you pour the filling over top. And then you put it back into the oven. Again, probably a science thing that I have no idea why, but it's just how you make it. The other thing you can do is if you have some like small wild blueberries, you could sprinkle those over the top of the crust first and then add your lemon filling, so then you have a lemon blueberry. Yeah, I mean, just cooking's all about playing around in the kitchen. That's all it is. Trial and error. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Just fun. Does anybody else have any other questions about cooking with oils or with Einkorn products? There's also some great Einkorn pasta too, if you guys are interested in that. I think there's a long pasta, I think one or two short pastas, either penne or rotini or something like that.
Yeah, there's a rotini. And there's actually also, Dave not only loves the flakes that you mentioned, but in the US side, there's the granola that I literally have to buy 5 bags of, like almost monthly, because he goes through that like crazy. So, and the granola is something that, of course, you can mix with a lot of things. A lot of people put the granola, say, on a like a pudding or something, you know, some type of nice dessert as well, or have it with yogurt. So a lot of people mix with fruits. So
I apparently ate all my granola.
yeah, there you go. Imagine that.
But that's another one you could use as a replacement for like an apple crisp or a rhubarb crisp to put on the top as well. So it's a great idea.
And someone saying, yeah, we love the granola. We love the dried wolfberries as well. Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
So the dried wolfberries is something you could even put in the shake. you know, when you're blending it. A lot of
Soak them a little bit though, to get them a little more soft, but definitely.
A little recipe that I've done too, Megan, you know the cereal that you just showed with the granola, you know, like a trail mix?
Yep.
So sometimes you go to the bulk barn and you get all the one that's not like all salted and all that, and you buy like what's in the trail mix, and then you add the Young Living stuff in it, and when you have guests over, you just put that and you add nuts in it and stuff like that. It's so good.
Delicious.
They also make a great dog treat.
That's good.
Gabby loves them.
Oh, and another good, I don't know if you guys are sort of in the fall season, pumpkin spice lattes and all that, everything pumpkin spice, this pumpkin spice, that. What you can do is you can mix your ginger, cinnamon, and clove, and you can actually make a simple syrup, which is 1 part sugar, 1 part water, whatever sugar you choose. Put it on the burner and you let it simmer till the sugar dissolves. Once it cools down, you're going to add your clove, cinnamon, and ginger to that mix. And then you can just keep it in your fridge, and then you can add a squirt of that to your hot chocolate, to your coffee. You can actually add it to a little bit of whipping cream if you wanted to make sort of a pumpkin spice whipping cream. You can use it to add to your baking. So if you're making pumpkin muffins or pumpkin pies and all that kind of stuff. So I've made amazing porridge with blueberry squash. Oh, that sounds delicious.
So there's a question here on, does it have to be vitality oils? I have many vials of lemon and been using these. What's the difference?
Okay, so here's the difference. This bottle here of lavender and this bottle here of lavender has the same oil in the bottle. The difference is this bottle here is going to, if you peel, I don't know if you guys noticed, there's like a little tab, and what you do is you peel it back, and on the bottle has the instructions on ingestion on the Plus Line Vitality Oil bottle. These bottles here, when you peel them back, has instructions on how to use it topically or to diffuse. So your differences are, if you're not sure or you're just learning, you would get this bottle so that you have all those lovely instructions for this. But it's the exact same oil that's physically in the bottle. They don't make 2 different blends or 2 different oils for different bottles. It's the same. Or you can just make sure you're a sprucer and you follow along in our clubhouse and we tell you all those lovely things. If you have any questions. And I think, I'm trying to remember, but I know, Christina, I don't think that there is a Plus Line that is not available on the other side. Have you seen anything?
So there's more vitality oils versus Plus Line oils. So Megan is right. It's the exact same oil inside. The reason why we have two different colored labels and different instructions is a government thing. So in Canada specifically, you can't have a product, interestingly enough, that you can ingest that you are going to apply topically or diffuse. So it's really a regulatory thing. And so when we're, doing things like this that are open to the public, we obviously want to comply with our Canadian laws. So if we're ingesting or cooking, then we're going to be showing and displaying the Plus Line, which are the white labeled oils. However, again, as Megan showed, the same lavender bottle, whether it have a white label or a purple label, it is the exact same substance, which is lavender essential oil inside. And it's literally taken from the same container. It just bottled differently, just due to regulations. So, and the Vitality line is the US equivalent of our Plus Line. And the Plus Line is actually also in places like the UK. It's in other markets. Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference that says vitality versus.
Yeah, So we have almost, yeah, you're, so you think you're safe. Yes. Basically. Yeah. Yeah. So.
I mean, I come from a food background. I am a category manager for a restaurant company, and labeling is one of the biggest regulatory things on the planet. I know that for our restaurants, when we launch a new product, we have to go through all kinds of hoops and measures. And a lot of times products will get held back simply because we're waiting on a label approval. So literally it's a governmental thing. It has nothing to do with the product, to be honest with you.
Nope, but it's a great question and we appreciate you asking that. Let me see what else. Squash and ninja berries. Ooh, yum. Add cinnamon plus. Good idea. With porridge and wheat berry.
Yeah, and I would encourage you guys, if you have some great recipes, is to take a quick picture and post your recipe in the Sprucer Clubhouse on the Facebook page. Or I think there's actually, is there a spot still on the website or on the Sprucer?
Yep, there is.
You can post recipes there too. It's like, post away. I mean, we love to hear new recipes. We don't really talk about cooking as often. We talk more about topical and diffusing a lot of the times. But they are great thing. Oh, another great oil. Lemongrass Vitality. So if you've ever cooked with lemongrass, you know that it's a pain in the butt to try and get lemon. It's like this big, long, woody, I don't even know if it's a vegetable and herb, long and woody. And you literally have to hack at it to get all the outside off. Then on the inside, you have to beat the crap out of it to get the actual aromatics out of this stuff before you cook with it. Then you either have to put it in a food processor or chop it up so fine so you don't choke on it. I have now learned I just use this. Add this to my Thai dishes. So if you're making pad Thai, if you are making goizas or pot stickers or any of those types of things, add a couple drops of this instead of trying to fuddle your way through using lemongrass. Just a little tip.
That is awesome. That's a great tip because A, it's going to save time, and most of us have lemongrass because we know how phenomenal oil that is. And so I'm looking at the time. I just want to ask if there's any other questions that you have for Meghan with regards to cooking or anything else. I think if, I'm with Monia, like I'm drooling over here going, hey, we need to be over there. So are we all now going to go these things or what?
I'll post pictures, I promise, when it comes out of the oven.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to help. Yeah, I don't think that's
what she's going to be doing? She's going to be like this, putting it in her mouth and taking a picture.
Totally.
The other thing too is once it comes out is then you can take them and it's cool, and then you go to cut them. You can then top it with a little bit of icing sugar just to dust it off. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, and I know we posted some of the recipes also in the gardening class we did. Yep. So what I think we'll do is we'll post these recipes and then we'll get the ones from the gardening one, and we'll make a album in the group all with regards to food recipes, because I think especially now coming into summer, we're all going to want these recipes because I know, just like the rest of us, we are going to come together, we're going to have good times, and I want to not only eat some of these or drink some of those, but also all the other ones I've seen too. So, and some of these suggestions, adding things to the chai pudding or using the wolfberries in the salads, that instead of using cranberries, like why not use the dried wolfberry, right? That's phenomenal. And I also, sorry.
About the wolfberry you're talking about? You know when you guys make a tea and you put it in your tea and then it's all wet? If you're not going to use them right away, take those, put them in a little glass container and put them in the freezer. And when you guys want to make muffins, grab those and throw that in your muffins. It's amazing. It's so good. I don't throw anything out.
Nothing.
I freeze everything.
She literally does not throw anything out.
So we all know now that Monia is a hoarder.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure if we should go to her house, but
that's
I
it.
literally take something out of the fridge and I'll be like, okay, let's clean out the fridge. She's like, we could use that. We could. Oh, that's so good. And I'm like, we could, but we're not. So we could also throw it out. She's like, but maybe we might. So let's just keep it until we can.
oh my God, you guys.
If there's green on it, we can use thieves.
Absolutely.
So good.
Man.
Well, we know she has 3 boys and a husband that all eat lots, right? So if we have that many boys, or actually they're men at this point. We have
So
that many men.
kidding, by the way. She's kidding.
And probably not. No, just joking. Anyways, I'm just joking. But I don't see any more questions for you, Megan, but I just want to wrap this up and say that was amazing. We're so grateful to you to putting this together, and also Monia, of course, for adding her comments there with the protein. And we just want to thank you for showing us these amazing recipes. What we're going to do, like I said, is we're going to put these recipes together and we're going to post them in our group. And for those of us that are not on our team, we'll also post them in the event under the public, under our public Facebook page. And we also have a blog, so on our public website. So we'll post them there as soon as we get them ready, which is just bluespruce.club. And then you can go to the educational part, the blog, and you'll see all these recipes. So I just want to thank again, Megan, for putting this together, and Dan, who's behind the scenes doing all the stuff as well. Yeah, that's right. And again, as Monia mentioned, we have a kind of a fitness and workout helpers that lunch and learn on June 2nd, I believe, which is the Tuesday. And it'll be same time at 12 o'clock. So we really hope you guys have enjoyed this. Marianne, did you have a question? I don't know. I saw your hand go up there. And if not, that's okay too. So I'll wrap it up anyway. And if anyone has any questions, we can ask afterwards. But thanks again, Megan. We're so grateful. And we really appreciate your time and inviting us into your kitchen. And we appreciate everyone for joining us today too. So thanks again. Bye.